Welcome to the Mindgrow Radio podcast storyteller series. I am your host, Stephanie Kathan, and today we're talking mindset and intentions and embracing your inner entrepreneur with special guest and Etsy store owner, also founder of Crazy Creations and fellow Vermonter, Barbara Herschlein. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be part of this.
First, I really want to say how much I love your Etsy store. We've talked about this before, but I want to share this little story with the listeners because it's so important. Like one day I'm just scrolling right through Facebook or whatever, and I see this picture of this beautiful jewelry, and it's on this card, and it says gratitude, and then I see another one that says appreciation, and I'm like, what is this jewelry and who is this chick and this is awesome and oh my God. So I go to your store and I just immediately fell in love with all of the pieces. Like your energy jumped out at me. There was no way I could have not purchased your stuff on that day because your energy was literally grabbing me off of Facebook and bringing me to your store. And I'm pleased to say, own several of your beautiful pieces. So thank you very much. And could you just tell us a little bit about your Etsy store and what you do?
Okay, sure. So I started making jewelry when I was 13, and I took some jewelry classes in high school. It was my passion. It was my thing. I just love it. It brings me into my zen. It connects me to source. I love it. So I started this Etsy page last fall. I had no intentions of starting my business again because I had started many times over the past 30-something years. And I just did it to showcase my art, just to share the pictures of my beautiful creations with everybody. I use semi-precious stones, and I use silver-plated and silver, sterling silver as well. And I just wanted to share the love I had put into each piece with everybody in the world, whoever came across it. I hoped it would touch them in some way. I didn't look for feedback. I wasn't looking for, oh, this is great. I love it. I just wanted to share the love I had put into it. I'd started this transformative journey in the fall as well. So I had thrown everything onto Etsy, didn't really put many prices on anything, and all of a sudden, people just said, can I buy this? Can I buy this? And I said, oh, yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. I would love to give this to you. And it blossomed from there. And I'm doing farmers markets now, and I'm selling on Etsy. I have orders daily, every other day. For me, that's success. It's hugely successful. Yeah. And I love the energy of the stones. They mean something. It's jewelry with a meaning, and it's affordable as well.
I have a story for you about your jewelry. Your jewelry actually plays a very important part of what I do when I'm on video. And if you've never seen me on video, you may have seen me wearing your pieces. Well, there's a ring that I wear that I got from you. And I'm in this course with my friend Molly Mahoney. She did this course, and I joined it. And one of the things that we needed to do was come up with what she calls our magic feather. And that is a piece of something or like a talisman or something that we use to empower ourselves. So if we get off course or whatever while we're on video, we can look at that piece and it will bring us back to center and help get us focused. And your ring is my magic feather. Isn't that cool?
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm so glad that it brings that joy to you and was able to ground you in that way. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I really, really love your stuff. So looking at your life now, you're a mother of 5. You're a business owner. You're a spiritual artist. You have so many gifts and talents, but you mentioned that you have been creating jewelry a long time, but you haven't always been a business owner. You were in the health field. You're a nurse case manager. So what inspired you to take that leap and embrace that inner entrepreneur that you have?
So I've I'm still taking the leap, to be honest. I'm still working in that capacity as a nurse case manager. I've been a nurse since I was 18. I never wanted to be a nurse, to be honest. It was something to fall back on. And honestly, it was something that I wanted recognition for within my family and never received because I wasn't doing it for myself. So to take that leap of entrepreneurship is basically just honoring myself and what I want to do. And when I loved myself more, when I reclaimed who I truly am and really focused on loving every bit and piece of me, everything that makes me me, then I was able to move forward and say, well, I'm going to do things that bring me joy and bring me love because I love myself so much now that I want only things in my life that bring me joy. And what other people feel doesn't bother me anymore. So to take the leap from nurse case management over to starting my own business, I have to put myself first and not focus on what my boss may think, what my boss wants me to do. I actually quit school in the fall of last year. I had done 4 years to get my RN, and I realized it's not what I wanted to do. It never was what I wanted to do. And I finally had enough self-love to say, you know what, this isn't for me, and I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to quit school. And I jumped off that cliff, and I quit school, and my boss was not happy, not happy at all. But now I'm my own boss, and I get to decide what works for me and what works to bring that love into myself and share it with everybody else, too. So to take that leap was not hard.
I love that. I love that story because it's like of honoring yourself. Like that became the most important thing. And looking at your life now, you've created a life that allows you to be at home with your kids, spend more time with them, work your own hours, be your own boss, even though you're still sharing your expertise and knowledge in the health field. You really kind of embraced that piece of you. And not everybody has the courage to do that. So first of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But shifting your mindset from that place of being the people pleaser, you were doing things for others. You were creating a career and a life to please other people. So because we don't have enough time for that kind of like deep talk. But let me ask, what part did shifting your mindset and setting intentions play in creating the life that you're living now? Because I imagine it didn't always feel like that, the way that it does for you now.
No, it didn't. I was a different person. And I'm still evolving, and I'm going to be different in a year from now or tomorrow even. I'm going to be different because we're all growing. But I had been a people pleaser. I did everything for everybody and did not even think about my needs. I figured, well, I can take it. I had those broad shoulders, but I couldn't. I really couldn't. And when I set the intention of, it was not a moment. I mean, I guess it was a moment of, aha, oh my God, like, look at this. This is what I need to do. I had read a book. I saw something in the book that said that basically no one's opinions are true unless I make them true, unless I believe them to be true. And my whole outer shell just dissipated. I am not who I thought I was. I am not who my mother thinks I am. I am not who my friends have thought I was this whole time. They're just seeing snapshots of me. And I was making everything true that they said because I believed it to be true. And it's not. It is not true at all. So when I set that intention after I read that book, I set this intention of, I'm going to be true to myself. And I would play songs that were inspirational, and I would do more reading. I would do more meditating. I did some cleansing activities. I did a lot of things to really set that intention of being true to myself. A lot of, in the morning being grateful. Every morning I wake up and I'm grateful and I greet the world with open arms and love. And I share that as well in my pieces when I make my jewelry. So yeah, setting that intention, it changed my mind. It really, I'm rewiring those pathways in my brain by following my true self, my higher self, and listening to my higher self, where before I couldn't even hear my higher self.
It's so powerful, isn't it, when you decide that you're going to put yourself first and get to know yourself. And then when you do start loving yourself, it really does change everything. And you not only have learned how to do that, but you beam it. Like any interactions I have with you, whether it's in your post or seeing your jewelry or when I visit your store, the energy that you put out, like you can seriously feel the love. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's a thing. It's a real thing. And you can feel it through you with everything that you do. So I'm so glad the universe kind of hooked us up and brought you into my world, because I seriously I feel elevated just talking to you. Like my vibe has raised just interacting with you. So you kind of rock.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. And you're not the first person to tell me that when people just want to be near me because I radiate that. And that's a new thing. That's a new thing for me. And I radiate this love, and I want to share it. And thank you also for being in my life as well. You're teaching me as well.
So through this, there must have been some practices that you came across or learned or do to help you kind of retrain your brain and shift those mindsets and really tune your vibration station from that people-pleasing frequency to that self-love frequency. Are there some tips that you have that you'd like to share from your own personal growth toolbox, practices you do or routines that you do that help you kind of stay on track but also stay tuned to that self-love frequency?
Yes. So every day, it's a work every day, but it's a joy to do this work, this inner work. Every day, if there is a thought that comes into my mind, let me back up a little bit. I had to make friends with my ego, with that part of our brains that tells us you're no good, you're this, you're that. Oh, that person's right, you're ugly. Oh, that person's right, your jewelry doesn't look nice, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that case may be, whatever that little part of your brain is telling you, I had to make friends with it. I had to hug it. I had to give it love. I had to say, it's okay. Come back home. Come back home. It's okay. And in doing that, what they say, some people say it's a tyrant in your brain that destroys you, that kind of thing. I had to make friends with it. And I had to say, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to be impeccable with our word, which means never to go against oneself. So every day I remember that. I wear a bracelet that says it. I look at it every day. I'm impeccable with my word, which means I don't gossip about other people because that's a mirror and that will come back to me. And I love myself so much that I don't want that negative energy to come back to me. So I remember every day to be impeccable with my word, which means never to go against myself. And if that little voice does creep in and start to say, boop, boop, I'm like, nope, come back in, come back home to love. And it very rarely happens now. And it's only been a couple of months, 8 months maybe, since I've started this journey. And that little voice rarely creeps in anymore. And I'm more aware of it. Awareness is key, to be aware of your thoughts, to be aware of the mind thinking. And that's a hard thing to do sometimes when we're in this fast-paced, go, go, go type of life. We have to slow down. We have to make time for ourselves. And throughout my day while I'm working, I'll be aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of what I'm saying to people on the phone. I'm aware of how I take pictures from my jewelry and what I'm saying about my pictures. And I'm aware of what I'm saying about myself. And if anything comes in, let's turn it around and say, no, I love my body. I love who I am. And for me, it was just so simple to turn it around and just remember to be impeccable with my word.
Such a powerful thing. What I'm hearing from from all of your message is that once you made the decision to do this and be true to you, the energy kind of started moving fast and things started happening for you and sales started coming in and like that type of confirmation from the universe that you are being true to yourself, like the life that you wanted to create. Things are happening. You have the schedule that you want. You are able to be home with your kids, and your business is booming. So what would your best advice be to somebody maybe who is just starting out?
So someone is just starting out on their transformative journey. I didn't intend to set out and say, I'm going to change myself today. That wasn't how it was for me. I had been working on myself for so long. I had gotten rid of toxic relationships and gotten rid of toxic things that I put into my body, such as alcohol, things like that. I stopped drinking. I haven't had anything to drink in over, I think it's now 19 months. 19 months. I lost track. But I don't put anything into my body. That's the point, is I don't put anything that's toxic into my body. But when I started this journey, it was just, I was still continuing on that, getting rid of toxic things and focusing on myself and praying a lot. And I didn't know where I was in the universe and that kind of thing. And I just picked up this book and I read this book. And like I said, it just all fell away. I was like astounded that everything I had believed about myself was not true, because I was listening to 20 different people in my life telling me how I was supposed to be. You should do this. You should do that. You should. And it was like a tornado of opinions and words. And I was in the middle, and I was reactive to every single word that everybody said to me. And I tried to live up to 20 different people's versions of me. There were 20 different me's in everybody's head. There's one me in my friend's head. There's another me in my mom's head. And I tried to live up to all of those things that I thought I was supposed to be. And it was impossible, and it drained me. So it was a welcome. It was very welcome when I read that. And I was like, oh, thank the universe that this is not true, because it was a relief. Like, oh, okay, I can go back to being me now, the me that was born to be who I was supposed to be. So anybody who's starting out on this journey, I'm not sure what would work for everybody's different, and everybody views this differently, but it all points to the same thing, self-love. It really does for me. I would just recommend making time for yourself, being gentle with yourself during this transformation. Make sure you drink a lot of water, herbal teas, things that are good for you. Put foods in your body that are good for you. No chips, no dip, all the things that I used to love. I have cucumbers and cream cheese now, so like things like that. And it can be difficult for some people, but for me, I had been dealing with my shadows and my trauma for so long before this. And for the past, I guess it was before this transformation began, I gave up. I gave up trying. I said, I'm not talking about my traumas anymore. I'm done. I couldn't do it anymore. So I think I picked up where I left off. So I kind of had like a little bit of a head start, because my whole teenage life and adult life, I had been dealing with these traumas and bringing them to the light, but I hadn't loved them, and I hadn't let them out completely.
So good. So what would you say to somebody who maybe feels like they have an inner entrepreneur in there? They have a passion, but they don't know how to do it, to create a life around it, or can't really see the vision of themselves as a business owner. Do you have a tip or a piece of advice? Yeah.
So I had been trying to start my business for many years. On and off, I'd start a business and then stop. I'd start a business. I'm like, whatever. I can't do this. I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And the thing that changed is when I started loving myself, I just jumped. I jumped at the chance, and I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't know, but I knew I'd be taken care of. No matter what, I would be taken care of. Whether you believe in God, universe, source, whatever, you will be taken care of. If you are supposed to do this, you might make a mistake. You might fall down, but you'll get back up. You have that power. You have everything you need inside you to do what you're supposed to do here. And I really fully believe that. I was homeless one point a couple years ago. I was homeless. I had nothing. I had no money. I had no car. I had nothing. But you just keep going, and you know that it's going to get better because you put one foot in front of the other. You make a phone call. You find out that this is not the only way to live life. There are other options. There are other possibilities in the infinite realm of possibilities, in the quantum. There are so many possibilities of where your life could go. And you just jump. You just do it. For me, that's what worked. I just jumped and said, this is it. This is for me. And I just decided, I didn't mean for it to be as successful as it is right now. It just kind of happened because of the self-love, because of the love I pour into it, because I love my pieces and I put that energy into it. And everybody needs that. I think people need that. I think people need that more good energy to raise our vibration here on Earth. That's what we're meant to do, I believe. Mm-hmm.
So good. And so you mentioned being homeless a couple of years ago, and since that time, you didn't have a home or a car. Now you do. You have a home, you have a car, you have a thriving business, and it started with the decision that you made to love yourself. That is such a great, powerful nugget. And I hope everybody can grasp the power in that statement, because you're evidence of what can happen when you do choose to love yourself and believe and show up as the best version of you, because you know that's truth. That is your truth. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Where can people go to learn more about you and what you do?
Okay, so I'm on Etsy, and the Etsy shop name is Crazy Creations 311, and you can find me at etsy.com/shop/Crazy Creations 311 with capital C's, everything else lowercase. That's where I showcase all of my jewelry and make most of my sales. I'm also located in Bennington, Vermont, and I do the Bennington Farmers Market on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Deer Park in Bennington, Vermont.
So awesome. And you also have a Crazy Creations Facebook page, and you're on Instagram, right?
I'm not on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram yet. I haven't really gone that way. Technology's not my friend. I am just on Facebook. I am on Facebook, though, Crazy Creations, yes.
Definitely go check out her page and her pieces. And I know that they're going to speak to you the way that they speak to me. And seriously, you're going to be the owner of some Crazy Creations because it's beautiful. I really do love your stuff. And you are beautiful, too. Thank you. Today's show has been brought to you by CBD BioCare, the brand you can trust. If you want to try it for free, you can head on over to stephaniekathan.com/hemp and grab the free CBD offer I've got for you over there. I want to say thank you to our guest, Barbara Herschlein, for sharing your story. Please, listeners, go check out her stuff. Tune into her energy. You will be so glad you did. Check her out on Etsy. And thank you to the listeners. Thank you for joining us on the Mindgrow Radio podcast. It's been so much fun hanging out with you today, Barbara.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
I am your host, Stephanie Kathan, and until we meet again, keep shining in your brilliance. Bye-bye, everybody.